Hello everyone. This presentation is based on preparation of wollastonite from used plaster of Paris and quartz. In this project, wollastonite was produced using solid state reaction from used plaster of Paris and quartz as starting materials. The plaster of Paris from recycled molds serves as the source for lime and quartz was used as the source for silica. The ratios of plaster of Paris and quartz used were taken as 2:1, 3:1 and 4:1. The firing temperatures are 1200 degrees Celsius, 1300 degrees Celsius and 1350 degrees Celsius. Calcium silicate with an alpha phase was detected at a firing temperature of 1350 degrees Celsius with 3 hours soaking obtained from a ratio of 2:1. This is the abstract of this project. The contents are A. Introduction, Preparation, Raw materials, Properties of wollastonite, Application, Results and discussion. The main aim of this project is to prepare wollastonite from used plaster of Paris and quartz through solid state reaction. Wollastonite is composed of calcium and silica with a chemical formula of CaSiO3. Thus, it is called as monocalcium silicate. It contains small amount of iron, magnesium, manganese, potassium, strontium which substitutes for calcium in the mineral structure. It has been synthesized using many techniques like precipitation, sol gel, solid state reaction, etc. In the previous studies, calcium silicate was prepared from a mixture of limestone and silica sand. But in the present study, wollastonite material was prepared using used plaster of Paris and waste plaster of Paris and quartz as a waste management process. Plaster of Paris which is used in the molds will have a short durability because they will tend to react with water. Also, when plaster of Paris is stored in open atmosphere for a longer time, it will tend to react with the atmospheric moisture and it will get hardened. So, a considerable amount of plaster of Paris will be getting wasted. Thus, in order to minimize the wastage of plaster of Paris, we are trying to use it in the production of wollastonite. Preparation. The raw materials, that is the plaster of Paris and quartz, are taken in ratios 2:1, 3:1 and 4:1. They are mixed, dried and then fired in 3 different temperatures, that is 1200 degrees Celsius, 1300 degrees Celsius and 1350 degrees Celsius. The raw materials are plaster of Paris and quartz. The plaster of Paris molds are taken, they are crushed well and milled in planetary mill so that we obtain a particle size of 200 mesh. The quartz particles which are used are of a size of 230 mesh. The properties of wollastonite are: wollastonite has high brightness and whiteness. It has low moisture content. It has oil absorption. It has a low volatile content. It has a melting point of 1540 degrees Celsius. The hardness value of wollastonite on Mohs scale is 4.5 to 5.0. The crystal structure is monoclinic and triclinic. The applications of wollastonite are: in the ceramic industries, it is used in the structural clay products such as bricks, sewer pipes and tiles. In the paints and coatings, it is used in the marine paints, architectural, roof as well as underbody coatings. In the metallurgical industries, it is mainly used for the steel making processes. In the plastics industries, it is used as an ideal additive. In the friction materials, wollastonite is used in frictional papers, vehicle components such as drum linings and disc pads. Coming to results and discussions, let us first consider the characterization of raw materials. The raw materials used are plaster of Paris and quartz. The calcium oxide content in plaster of Paris is 32% and the silica content in quartz is 99%. The loss on ignition of plaster of Paris is 45.6% and for quartz it is 17%. The density of plaster of Paris is 2.59 gram per centimeter cube and for quartz it is 2.65 gram per centimeter cube. Characterization of fired products. All the 27 samples with 3 different firing temperatures and each soaked for 3 different times were characterized by the SEM and XRD. XRD. This is the XRD pattern of the wollastonite sample with 2:1 ratio of plaster of Paris and quartz fired at 1350 degrees Celsius and soaked for 3 hours. This is the XRD pattern of the wollastonite sample with a 3:1 ratio of plaster of Paris and quartz fired at 1350 degrees Celsius and soaked for 3 hours. This is the XRD pattern of the wollastonite sample which is prepared with a 3:1 ratio of plaster of Paris and quartz fired at 1300 degrees Celsius with a soaking time of 3 hours. It can be observed from the XRD pattern that the wollastonite sample prepared from a 2:1 ratio of plaster of Paris and quartz fired at 1350 degrees Celsius and soaked for 3 hours shows a better result in concern with the calcium silicate material. The wollastonite sample prepared from this method only shows alpha calcium silicate phase. SEM. The SEM analysis is used to determine the morphology of alpha calcium silicate phase. From the SEM analysis, we can infer that wollastonite which is prepared from the plaster of Paris and quartz has a needle-like structure. Loss on ignition and density. The loss on ignition was mainly affected by the decomposition of plaster of Paris and removal of volatile matters which takes place during the firing process. The main component of the loss on ignition is shown in the following figure. This is the loss on ignition content of the final product after firing at different temperatures with a molar ratio of 2:1. From this graph, we can infer that the loss on ignition value decreases with an increase in the temperature. The density of the fired products at a molar ratio of 2:1 increased with the temperature and was highly influenced by the sintering temperature as well as the purity of the raw materials. At 1350 degrees Celsius, alpha calcium silicate was produced and this has a density of 2.86 and 3.09 gram per centimeter cube, which is similar to that of the typical density of a wollastonite. So, the properties of the wollastonite which is prepared from used plaster of Paris and quartz are similar to that of an ideal wollastonite. From this, we can infer that wollastonite can also be prepared from used plaster of Paris and quartz. Thank you.